Hi. Can you guys hear me? Hey, it's me, Andy Birkey. I'm live, I think. Uh, Tell me in the chat if I'm okay live. Everything looks good, here's good, all that good stuff. Is everybody good? Tell me, am I good? Do I have any taco on my face? That's kind of freaking me out a little bit. Hi, everybody. Hey, listen, I am super amped to be involved with the virtual craft festival this year, or this session, whatever. Jamie and Carl asked me in, and you know, I appreciate it, and I appreciate everybody. There's 56 of you guys that don't have anything else better in the world to do today than to listen to some weirdo in his garage. So wicked appreciate it. So hey, I'm gonna switch the safety goggles out for some like old timer goggles. There we go. I can see you better now. Now I can see what you're talking about me. So here's the deal. On my Facebook and Instagram pages, a couple of days ago, I just asked for suggestions from everybody, and overwhelmingly, people were wicked into just getting an idea of how I do molding and casting for the architectural pieces that I do mainly for churches. So we're going to go over that and do it real quick. I've got some 30-minute molding material that if we get it together straight away here, we should be able to put together a mold box, make a mold of a small piece, and pour a replication within this 1 hour. So we're going to give it a whirl. I have no idea if I can put it together or not. And I'm kind of a one-man show on this one with one camera. So we're just rolling with it. You know, put on your safety belt. I recommend a helmet if you have one, safety goggles. Probably be a rough ride, but we're going to have a go anyway. Okay? Let's do it. Okay, so listen, a lot of times when I'm picking up detail, I can source this stuff from anywhere. This is a really cheap injection molded piece that I found on Amazon. I don't want the whole thing, but what I did is I cut part of it off. Boom, easy peasy, right? So check it. That's the piece I want right there. Just this little guy. It's going to go on the edge of a like a frame, which I'll show you here later on. But we're going to take this guy and we're going to make a mold box, make a mold, and make a replication of this straight away. So here we go. I'm going to adjust the camera, get you focused down on the table, and we'll see what happens. You ready? Here we go. Here we go. Oh, be still my heart. Robin Jacobson is here. There we go. Earl's here, by the way. All right, kids. How's that look? Everything good? I like it. Okay, so here's the dealio. I have scrap pieces of ultra high molecular weight plastic that I keep around the shop. So here it is. We're going with it. Okay, so this, I also have just random pieces of this material that I keep around the shop. And the way I attach them is just with a hot glue gun. So let's just make it quick and easy. One piece here. Nothing too fancy. Like that. So this guy here, we're going to cast him upside down. So when we what we're going to do is put this guy on with a little hot glue. If he's raised off of this deck a little bit, that's okay. All right? So we're just going to give that a quick shot there. Put this guy here. Okay, cool. So we're already off and running. See it? Father Thomas from Rome. Thanks, dude. Thanks for swinging in. Just happened to see you. All right, so let's build another side of this guy. We're going to give it about a 1/4 inch around all sides of the original, just to make sure we have enough. have enough room for it all. And then we're going to go like this. I'm going to make sure that you can see me here. So we're going to do something about like that. Just give it a real quick one on the bottom, little bead. And when I'm doing this, it's almost literally this fast because, you know, it doesn't pay to dawdle when you're doing this for a living. You know what I'm saying? So I got one more here. Let's see. Well, what the heck, we'll just do it. This isn't ultimate, but like I say, I'm trying to hurry a little bit so that we can make sure and get this molding material cured out before the end of the hour. So basically that's it. Typically I'd be a little bit tighter with this one here, but we're just going to go with it for this one, okay? So what I'm going to be using is Mold Star 20 from Smooth On. Very cool. Don't pay any attention to Amy Kessler. She doesn't know what she's talking about. I use this one because it's fast. It cures out in 30 minutes or even less. So that's what we're going with. We're going to give this a quick shot of mold release, which is just super, it's like snot in a can. Super slick. Don't have to be too picky about it. Just easy peasy, right? Okay, cool. Here we go. So we're going to just really take a guesstimate of what we want this guy at. We can do this by weight, which I prefer to do, just because there's very little guessing with it, okay? Okay, so here we go, here we go, here we go. You guys ready? I'm super pumped. Okay, so I'm at 0 grams. I've zeroed out to accommodate the weight of the cup. Let's give this about, I don't know, I'm just kind of eyeballing the volume here. We're going to go about 37 grams. That's part A. This is 1-to-1, easy peasy. I like it. 38 grams it's settled in at. We're going to zero that out. Give it another 38 grams. Easy. I always go too much because if I'm trying to hurry, I always overshoot this. Easy. 37. Come on. Give it to me. There she is. Whoa, I almost spilled it. I'm kind of nervous. Why am I nervous? I don't know. Oh well. All right, we give this a good stir. This is where 98% of molding and casting problems occur, is if this stuff isn't mixed up enough. So it's easy peasy. So because this sets up so fast, what I usually do is mix it until I can start to feel a little bit of heat through this cup. So I'm kind of feeling with my left hand. I can't believe that Carl Jacobson doesn't know that this is not a doll. That is my shopmate Earl, and Carl, I would appreciate it if you would have known that. But oh no, not Carl. No, his hair's too pretty. Wish I had hair. Is hair awesome or what? Okay, it's just starting to be a little bit warm in my hand, not too much. Amy's creepy. All right, so we're feeling pretty good about that mix. Okay, so check it. This is about as easy as it gets. This, by the way, goes immediately into the sawdust pile underneath the table saw. So, done. All right, here we go. Okay, so we're going to try to fill from the bottom of the mold. Maybe I can get a little closer. Ooh. Okay, so we're filling the bottom of the mold and letting it pour around the original. So check that out. All right, I can't be too particular about showing you this because I'll mess it up if I don't. Okay, and then all I'm looking to do is just to be over the top of the original. I don't know, probably in this case, because it's so small, just an eighth or so. I don't know what that is for you Europeans, but I'm just trying to get a smooth, see how that's got just a little bit of rough. It's just having a little bit of reaction to the top of that, so I'm going to give it just a little bit more. Okay, so that should be good. Easy peasy. So we're going to put this on a level surface. Here we go. So we're just going to set that aside for right now and leave it alone. We get rid of the hot glue gun because I will burn myself on that. So I want to just show you, this isn't just a rando guy, a rando original. What it really is some of you that followed my latest church build remember this guy from probably about a year ago. So what this guy is a mold that's probably, I don't know, it's probably 20 inches across or so. And so this is the original. And you can see that this was just done on a primed piece of plywood. And then I started to build the original directly on this and then just added details as I needed to. So this panel in here was carved by hand. And then these are just molding runs around here. And then these are applied pieces to give it more detail. So if you'll recognize this piece, does that look familiar? Uh-huh, told you. So that is that guy, all right? But the advantage that we have now is once we make a good solid mold, all that comes out in one piece. So what I did is this went on the four corners of a cross, a hanging cross that had, you know, the dead body of Christ on it, but this was out on each end of the cross. But each one of these then could be one solid piece. Okay? All right. Now, any questions so far? Fiona is inside sleeping, I think, but Susanna might bring her out a little later. I kind of opened the door for it. We'll see if she does. Okay, so I have never molded penicillin, but that would be kind of interesting to try. How do I call Sean? You know, to be honest, I just overshoot it. And here's what I do is I usually make 3 or 4 mold boxes at a time, and the big one, if you're getting super crazy about it, you could pour water in the mold box and then measure, and then pour the water off and then measure that. I don't do that. What I do instead is make multiple mold boxes, 3 or 4 different sizes, from, you know, this big of a one all the way down to a small one like this, and then I just whatever's left over from the big one, then I just make multiple little ones. Does that make any sense at all? I hope. So, but this guy here probably weighs, I don't know, 3 or 4 pounds, but this one is way overbuilt, but I tend to number one, use silicone mold material because of the longevity of it. And then, I just like to work with it more than the other types of molds. It's a little more expensive, but could I substitute rice for the water? Yeah, I could. That's not a bad idea. I like that idea, actually. I just don't do the water very often because typically by the time I get to the mold box is made, I'm sort of ADD, so I'm so amped to get the molding material in there that I don't take the time to do it. But I kind of like the idea. The main reason I don't do the water is because I don't want to dry it. So, the chances of multiple churches having that design is semi-small, I suppose, but especially with neo-Gothic stuff, a lot of times I'll pull an original off of one of these, and then I will go ahead and chop it up and make it into something else. So I just figure it's always nice to have those designs, and maybe, after I'm dead and in the ground, somebody else can find those molds and make use of them. So with silicone, they pretty much have a limitless lifespan. So we'll see where it goes. Let's just check in on this and see if it's sticky. Earl never helps. Okay, so this is not setting up yet, so we'll see where it goes. Hopefully it's warm enough. I'm used to this stuff, working with it in the summer, and it kicks off a lot faster. So, but I'm starting to feel heat off of it. I can hear it. Are you there? Hello? I can hear it. It's coming. It's coming. We'll see. Earl, how you doing? You okay? Earl. So, just a little. If you ever get the chance to look in your grocery store for ice cube trays that are made out of 100% silicone, and then they're kind of fun to have around, and you can just make little heads from Easter Island, which I like. Yeah, if I had a hair dryer, I would probably use it to kick that off. And I wish I would have remembered that, because I could have stolen Susanna's. But Peter, the air bubbles typically aren't a huge issue. Again, having them a little warmer would help, because that thins the viscosity a little bit. But I just have never had, as long as the original is pretty clean, I've never had too much issues with air bubbles. Of course, again, most of my stuff is architectural, so it's viewed from a distance, so you don't have to be as crazy about detail as if you were doing little pieces that were like, I don't know, earrings or jewelry boxes or something. So this guy here is hanging about 10 meters off the floor in the church at the closest one. So the clarity in this detail is way overdone for what it needs to be. So there's that. Does anybody have questions that I missed in the chat that while we're kind of waiting for that guy to take off, we can answer? I'm going to go ahead and move this guy away. Here we go. Flipping to meters like a pro. I do. The mold release I use, I know you can use, people use cooking spray and all that, but I tend to be a little crazy with my molds. I want to make sure that there's going to be no adverse reaction with the mold itself, so I use this stuff from the manufacturer of the molding material and casting material both. So I tend to go with all of one manufacturer. That's probably a little bit crazy, but that's just the way I tend to do it. So again, I am not, if you really want to know how to do good molding and casting, you need to talk to Zac at NB Woodworks, not not me. Actual snot works well. Not that I would ever know that, but yeah, I've heard rumors that snot works very, very well. All right, Early, we good? How are we doing here? Yeah, I'm kind of wishing I had my hair dryer, but I totally don't. So we're gonna go with that. I'll just show you a quick. I've got these guys here, the Easter Island dudes that I found. So we're gonna go ahead and just bust a couple of castings out of those, and hopefully we can do one out of that guy. But we'll see where it goes. I don't know. I do not know. I'm pretty crazy about. I almost never do either epoxy resin or molding and casting materials by volume. I tend to go with the gram scale, and I like the exactness of it. I don't know. Okay, so Zac's a hack. Yeah, right. Zac, yeah. Okay, so this is Smoothcast 320. Again, the reason I use this particular one, an established company like this, they have stuff that is all over the chart as far as how fast it cures out and its strength and compression strength, all kinds of different stuff. This is the one I use mainly because it has enough compression strength for what I need it to do, and it goes very quick, especially in the summer when it's hot in here. And so I try not to. That way we can turn the molds real quick. This summer when we were doing the little crockets for the towers on the Neo-Gothic church we were doing, we had about 10 of those molds going at once, so they would just cycle through and pop those little castings out of there, just almost consistently. By the time you got to the end of one, the first one was ready to pull out of the mold. So again, we're just gonna, even with the silicone molds, we're gonna give this just a little bit of liquid snot. Okay, so again, this is a 1-to-1 mix, super easy. Let's just, and again, I like this scale because it has a 0 out button, which means that if it's zeroed and then you put your cup on there, you can hit 0 and she's back to 0. Like I'm talking crazy talk. Let's see. Wes, I do, that is a great idea. I don't, because I finished this up in the summer. I know that I need to have this gone, probably by year's end. But if you have multiple batches in the shop, that's a great idea to go ahead and put dates on these. So that way, because they do have a shelf life, and that's one of the reasons that I'm not hesitating to use these. So let's get this guy mixed up real quick. I'm just going to give it about half of what I think. Oh boy, 49. Let's do that separately. So what we'll do, that one's at 49, we know. We'll go with this. 0 them out again. And again, this is where I will screw up, I guarantee it. 41. Ooh. I can't believe I did that. Perfect. Okay, this is all going to go in here. Popsicle mixing sticks. So, what was that question, JP? I saw one go by real quick. If I hit the screen, the chat shows up. Here we go. What is my favorite place I've ever photographed? I think that would have to be either Hawaii or Tarrant, Italy, and for completely opposite reasons. Hawaii is just, stunningly silly, beautiful, and Tarrant just has a nice, amazing European old school feel to it. But yeah, that's a great answer. I haven't been ever asked that before. I like that question. So now I'm starting to feel this again. This is going a little warm in my hand. That's how fast this goes together. So now we're going to just set these guys. Again, try to fill the lower part of the mold first and let the level fill in everything else. So when you're aiming for the nose of the Easter Island guy, okay. Perfect, got 4 of them just like I planned. If you believe that I have some real estate, I want to sell you. All right, so this is fun to watch because when this starts going off, these will flash. They'll start curing from the inside out, from the biggest part of the mass, and then they flash out. So keep an eye on those as I'm talking crazy talk. Keep an eye on those, and they will start changing colors pretty quick. And again, there's heat coming off of them. Not a lot, because it's only 66 degrees here in the shop. I don't know what that is in European style stuff. I just don't. I don't know. Okay, this guy is starting to get a little bit sticky, so we'll see. This one's going to be close whether or not we can do it. So hit me up with some questions, kids, while we're waiting for stuff to sort of start to pop here a little bit. Tell me what you want to know, if anything. Sean, I think you had some specific questions about the molding and casting process. So, oh, geez, Justin's here. Great. Actually, I just about did some tacos just for fun on this broadcast, but I figured Carl and Jamie would be mad. Sean, I do not personally use a pressure pot. Again, look at these guys taking off. See that? Crazy, right? Again, because a lot of my stuff is what I call architectural grade, I don't need it to be way bubble free, because there's just no one would ever know it. So you can see where the mass is together, it kind of freaks out where it's thickest, right? So if you can see these around the edges, there's the it takes them a little longer to cure out. So we're going to let that just hang out. And I think I missed a couple of questions. So I'm going to try to hit you up and see if I can. What is the exact location of Boom Boom Waffle Swamp? That is a national secret, and I can't tell you. All right. Okay. Father Thomas, a lot of pieces I see in Italy are made from plaster, probably the era, but are there advantages to doing it in plaster? You know, I don't think so. I mean, it is the classic material, but I'm going to lift this up a little bit so you can see my beautiful face. Whoa, whoa. My feeling is on a lot of that stuff, I kind of have the same idea about, CNCs and all that. I believe that if the guys that were building statuary and stuff, castings, they would, if they had cold cast plastic like this, they would have used it. And that way tourists wouldn't bust off the fingers as much and stuff like that. So that's my feeling. I mean, obviously, if you're in a situation where you need to stay true more to the tradition, you'll definitely, do this in plaster. I tend to use what's called statuary hydrocal, which is like, it's not entirely accurate, but it's kind of halfway between plaster and porcelain. It's a strange material, but it's powder just like plaster, but it's very, very hard. So if I'm doing any statuary repairs or anything like that, I will tend to use that just because it's truer to what, is actually there. I've never done cold cast plastic, use it as a repair material. So, I mean, you can sculpt plaster. This you cannot sculpt. You just have to mold it and go with that. So, Jamie, the picture on the wall is what I call the humbler. If I ever start to think I'm a little bit too cool for my britches, this is the last thing I see as I walk out the door. This is a completely gold leaf piece in Mexico that is, I don't know, it's got to be, 50 meters tall. It's, and the detail in there is stupid, but I have it there for a very specific purpose so that I never can think that I'm, too cool. I'm mainly just cheating, trying to get that type of feeling without having that kind of talent. So these guys are coming along. I can feel that I can just keep my finger on them. So typically what I do is I'll let this cool down just a little bit, because that way I know that the chemical reaction is not still cooking itself, right? So I did tell Amy Kessler when she was here working with me this summer that I made this. So if she's still here, don't tell her that I did, because she thinks I'm pretty cool because I made that. Okay, that's just between us though. So this guy's coming along. It's just a little bit sticky yet. Oh, thanks, Father Thomas. Yeah, if this guy was 15 degrees Fahrenheit warmer, we'd already be working with it. So, Peter, you do not need a picture. No one needs a picture of me on their door. That's for sure. All right, let's pull the little Easter Island, guys. What do you say? Okay, let's get you back down instead of looking at me, because Peter's freaking out. Yeah. Okay, here we go. So again, what I do when I'm releasing a mold is I tend to take a wall and then pull it sideways. And what that does is gets a little bit of air starting to work underneath. Hey, Miles, how are you? And that way, I mean, especially on these complicated molds, you got to do it. But check this out. Boom. I like it. What did I write on the butcher paper? It says, just be you, because I'm not going to try to be anybody else. This is what I am. So occasionally I give myself reminders that don't try to be anybody you aren't. This is it. So yeah, you can see now these guys are, you don't have to be too gentle with them. As a matter of fact, one of the things I used to like to do is if a priest that was touring the shop would come by or something, I would see a Gib. I would take a newly minted piece like this and then just, and when they caught their breath, this stuff is really tough. So check it out. Aren't they cool? Now I've never tried to tint this stuff. Wonder if we should try that. You guys want to try tinting it? I've got some, Total Boat sent me some powdered dyes. What do you guys think? Should we try to, oh wait, maybe I did. Oh hell, let's try it, huh? Let's try it. Okay, what color should we make? What Nick's thing that was cool? Oh. Good call, Nick. I like that idea. That's cool. All right, so we've got kind of this cool root beer, brown, yellow, copper, red, a couple of different blues. Come on, tell me what we should do. Orange. Come on, give it to me. Give it to me. I remember when Carl did this in his last live stream. It was way more interesting than what I feel like. Sean says copper. Kim says blue. Let's go blue because I think it'll be more dramatic. What do you say? All right. Okay, now one thing I did learn about this black diamond pigment powder from Total Boat is you need about this much. Don't be crazy with it. So let's do that. Let's go with a blue one and do just a little bit. Amy and I played around with this a little bit this last summer, but I'm just going to go, this is probably too much, but I'm just going to go with this. Oh, we'll see where that goes. I bet that's too much, but let's go with it. Okay, let's try about 25 grams. That should give us enough for two, because I think the last time it was about 50 grams, and that was 4 Easter Island dudes. Did the Easter Island dudes appear in any of the Bill and Ted's movies? If they didn't, I'm kind of feeling like maybe they should have, because that would be cool, right? I don't know. I'm just saying. I'm just thinking out loud. Should be like a Hollywood creator guy, I think. You know, like an idea guy. I don't really do any work. I just think of stuff like that. Like Bill and Ted should, you know, go see the Easter Island dudes. I'm just saying. Okay, so we're going with 25 grams here. $25. This stuff is also susceptible to humidity, so you got to make sure. Oh, did the Spinal Tap guys go to Stonehenge? Okay, so check this out. This is the, I don't know how this will go when it flashes, but it's definitely got some cool blue tones to this. So let's get the other one in there. Okay, we're going to zero that out again and give it another 25 grams. I'm having trouble pouring that. That'll work. I did build part of Stonehenge. All right. So here we go. This ought to be interesting. I mean, we have some nice iridescent blue type stuff there now, but when it flashes to the plastic, I don't know what happens. Again, I will just over stir this until I start to feel just a little bit of warmth. It was a lot like European Vacation, Father Thomas, when we were road tripping with Jake and Jamie. Somebody was going to get hurt. You had to know that was going to happen. And Heidi. All right, here we go. I like these little cups because you can like tweak them into a spout. It's nice and easy. Okay, this color is super cool. I kind of feel like Peter Brown right now. Paul, we don't mention the Carmen Gia and Stonehenge, dude. Check this out. This is cool. Yeah, man. He should be. Okay, I'm going to try to lift this up so you can see it, but I'm probably going to spill it. But check that out. Sweet! Yeah, Father Thomas, I'm on the security watch list on most basilicas in Italy and Germany, so. Okay, we're going to give that a whirl. Let's see what happens here. Okay, so check this out. Boom, as it should. We still have a few minutes. I'm going to let this go just a little bit longer, but I can definitely push on it now and it bounces back. So the curing has happened. Woohoo! I'm kind of amped about this because I really wanted to do like, right from building the box to pouring the mold to pouring a casting all in this hour if I can. So we're going to try it. I'm super pumped to see how this comes out. So I don't know if you can see that surface, if Sean's still here. That isn't, even without any kind of, the viscosity of this stuff is so low, and I don't mechanically mix it. So there's really very, very few bubbles in that surface if I can get the light to play off it right. Hi guys that are just popping in. Very cool. So check this out. This guy's going off now. Very cool. All right, let's give this guy a whirl. See what happens while these guys are curing. I just don't know how much of that blue is going to come through after all that. So here's the nice part about ultra high molecular weight material. If you can ever get your hands on this stuff, do it because it's really cool. Because you can just peel all this stuff right off. This piece is clean again, ready to reuse. So that makes building these little curbs really super easy. They just pop. And no leakage at all around there. You hearing crickets? I don't hear any crickets. So yeah, you see that? That just peels right away from that. It's just the right amount of adhesion. Gone. Done. So that guy's there. All right, here we go. It's probably, Sean, no, I don't believe so. I don't think that ultra high molecular weight is the same as HDPE. It's super, super slick. I mean, it's crazy. I got this stuff because I had a job inside of a grain sorting machine that was like 3 stories tall. And I had to work inside this machine and line a couple of these chutes with this because the grain it's so slick that the grain doesn't, dig into it as it goes through by the ton. Pretty crazy. Okay, so we're going to try to get this guy off of here now. And again, just kind of work it from multiple angles. Say, we're kind of pushing this a little bit. So now we've broken the seal between the original and the base. So now we can just work that around. Oh yeah, that's pretty good. Now these little things are called flashings. So we'll just take that and trim those a little bit. But the original is unharmed. That's especially if you're pulling something off of a wall that you can't damage. It's nice. So we're just going to trim a little of this flashing away now. So you can get an idea of what that looks like. Boom. Like I say, this is pushing it pretty hard. It's still a little sticky. I think I'll go ahead and pour it just for demo's sake. But it could use a little more time, to be honest. All right. You know what? I think I might give it a little more time because it still has that stick. Okay, these guys are... Oh, thanks, Amy. I appreciate that. Yeah, so, okay, so here's our blue result. We didn't get quite enough pigment in there, I guess. It kind of looks like soap or a popsicle. So Amy has a good point, something that we had to deal with this summer. So this stuff right here is very, very smooth. It's as smooth as the silicone. So what I tend to do in preparation for painting is I either will give this a real light pass with a sander, oh heck, what do you call it? You know, the sandblaster, but really, really lightly, just enough to give that a little bit of texture. It's so smooth now, I would worry about long-term adhesion of paint. The other thing you could do is an etching primer, which I know a lot of people are using, and maybe Amy has some knowledge of that, but I have not used that. I know it stinks like mad. But either I would go over this with some, you know, those little sheets of kind of woven material from 3M, and just kind of give it a real quick little massage to give it a little bit of bite, and then use an automotive grade primer on that to again to bite into the plastic a little bit, and then you're off and running with, you know, just use a high grade latex or whatever. So Amy, if you have any other input on that, throw it in the chat and we'll talk about it. But basically, you just need to give this guy a little bit of tooth for the primer to bite onto. Okay, we're going to go ahead and try to do this guy, even though it's not quite cured out, but you know, it'll be a good demo or it'll be a train wreck, one of the two. So yeah, two of these guys are 25 grams each of the parts of the casting material. So I'm going to say, let's go with about, I don't know, what do you think? That's probably, let's go 12 grams each, and that should be pretty close. That's the other thing, Sean, about volume is once you've done these a few thousand times, you do get kind of a net of the detail that's in here, the depth of the spots, and you can get a pretty close idea of where you need to be. And you are going to become comfortable with just burning some material as you need to. Okay, so we should put the Guardians on call here. There we go. We've got our Easter Island dudes. I think this guy's good there. How's that? Okay. Hi, Danielle. How are you, man? Good to see you. All right, check this out. Let's go. We got an empty cup here. What'd I say? We're going to go about 12 units each. Here we go. 8. Well, I went a little heavy. We're going to go 14 units each. How's that sound? Okay, so we're going to zero that out. Give it another 14. A little bit heavy, a gram heavy, but we're going to go with it. Popsicle sticks. Again, if you can ever have anybody work in your shop for a while with you, it's amazing the amount of stuff you pick up from each other. Amy, when she was here with me this summer, she gave me a lot of great tips. One of them was different sizes of popsicle sticks. Buy them by the gross and just have them around, and they're very, very useful. I always just use table saw rips and stuff, but these are ready to go, nice and easy. But like I say, if you have another crafts person working with you, if you ever get that chance, just absorb all those little tips and tricks, because especially if they're coming from a totally different skill set, pretty awesome. Franco's here. Wonder what he's making for brunch tomorrow morning. Franco, I hate that guy. All right, so here we go. So Sean, this is what I'm saying. I obviously have too much material. So another mold handy, and just lose the excess in a mold. Done. There we go. So if we can get this guy to pop out before the end of the hour, we will have successfully made a mold box, made the mold, and made a casting out of that mold in under an hour. So yippee-yi-yo. Okay, cool. Give me some questions, dudes. Okay, here we go. Here we go. There we are. Whew. Yeah, thanks, Sean. This has been crazy. I've been kind of nervous because I really wanted to do, like, you know, farm to table as far as molding and casting goes. But, you know, that's pushing it about as far as you can. Like I say, if it's warmer, if it's 15, 20 degrees warmer in here, these things really go off faster. But for the degrees that it is, we couldn't go too much. Oh, yeah, Amy, you want the product name? So the mold material that I use in this case is Mold Star 20T. And I mainly use that one because it's fast. It cures out in about a half an hour at 70 degrees, I think it is. The casting material I prefer is Smoothcast 320. And I use that one again because it has a very, very fast demold time. You guys, even in these cooler temps, you guys are seeing that we're popping these guys out in, I don't know, what is it, about 10 minutes? Not even, maybe 5. So, Paul, will this work if the object, will this work if the object I want to cast has overhangs, so it's not just the back and front, but grooves and creases and stuff? Yes, it will. There are limits to that, and let me show you. So this is a carving I did a few years ago. I have done casts of this, of the quadrants of this. So I carved one of these and then cast it. But because there's through holes in it, these needed to be filled with plasticine, and make sure that nothing is going to flow through an overhang and then connect with itself, because then you're not going to get the mold out. So if you do the plasticine, then after you've made the casting, then what I did here was went back in. What I did was I made a point in the center of the plasticized drill bit, and then I could drill those back out of the new casting. But yeah, you can do, there's limits to it, and that's where it starts to get a little bit tricky, is how much detail can you grab under overhangs and things like that. It gets more with the more expensive silicone materials. There's shore hardnesses, and the softer the shore hardness of your molding material means that it'll squish around more. So it'll be accurate, but then it'll squish around itself to get away from the casting. So it's especially important if you're just using a softer material like plaster. But this stuff here, will take a lot of abuse from the mold itself as it's releasing from that. I hope that was interesting. DM me, Paul, on that if you need more information on that. So this guy's come along pretty darn well. Once those edges turn white there, or creamy color, we're gonna just about make it. We're 57 minutes in. I got to wrap this up in 3 minutes, but we're gonna be very, very close. We're gonna try it, and we'll see where it goes. Hey, thanks, Karen. That's cool. Appreciate it. So for whatever reason, this guy is going off a little bit faster. Oh, actually, this is a good thing to see. So this one I pulled a little early. See his nose? His nose wasn't quite cured out yet. I should have let him hang out a little more. So this one's kind of got a stubby nose. Sorry, dude. I didn't mean to do that to you, okay? We cool? Okay, we're cool. He's cool, even though he has a stubby nose. Okay, so I don't know what, here we go. I'm gonna let this go as long as I can, and in like the last 30 seconds of this broadcast, before Carl and JP kick me out of here, we're gonna demold this guy, and you know what I'm saying? It's like that. I don't know what that means, but sometimes it feels good. Father Thomas, you know what I'm talking about, right? I don't know. So yeah. Any other questions? I hope this was relatively clear. I kind of feel like I rushed it a little bit, but if you feel like you want more of a slowed down, relaxed explanation of this, let me know, and I'd be more than happy to do. I need to make some more YouTube videos anyway, because I've been totally slacking on that. But yeah, let me know, and I'll be happy to, make something that I'm not too rushed. So, okay, here we go. You ready? Last minute. Here we go. I'm going to wait till the 59th minute. Here we go. Who's nervous? Because I am stupid nervous right now. I'm not. Okay, so here we go. Okay, so again, we're going to take the shallow wall and pull it away to get air underneath the new casting, okay? So we want to do that. I've even seen guys take an air nozzle and blow it underneath, but check it. Woohoo! Not so bad. All right, listen, I've got like 30 seconds left. Thanks so much. Stay tuned for the next installment of the festival. Thanks so much for hanging out with me. You people rule. I can't believe that 65 of you guys subjected yourself to this, but you did. You need to get a life. Birkey out.